Hopefully, I think we've made excellent progress, and I'm hopeful that whether it's today or very, very early next week, the Hong Kong bill will pass. The Senate version will pass the Senate and head over to the House, where we hope they'll pass it and send it to the President.
Are you optimistic that it will pass?
Well, that's a tight time frame. It depends on how quickly, whether the House is willing to take it up and pass it. They passed their own version of it, so we'll have to work through those differences if there's a hang-up on it. But we have a Plan B and a Plan C. The good news is that there's strong support, and I think obviously the passage of the bill will be very important, but just seeing unanimity or near unanimity in the Senate will make a big, big difference.
Have you talked to the White House? Do you think you will receive the signature?
We've met with the administration and folks in the State Department, and they seem quite open to our bill.
And what's the Plan B or Plan C?
Well, attaching it to the National Defense Authorization Act, attaching it potentially to one of the spending bills. We have other options, but this is the fastest way to do it, and we're glad we've reached this point. Now we just got to get it done, and it might be ongoing as we speak. So.
I don't know if it'll be today, but I believe it is on the hotline, which is great news, and so I believe it's been put onto the hotline. So that means that hopefully it will go sometime very soon. Now, Senator can't object and take it off the hotline.
And how soon can that be?
Well, I mean, hopefully it would be either, it could be as early as today. It just depends on available floor time, or it could be next week. But I imagine unless a senator objects, which any senator could do, but we would then know who that is, and they'd have to offer a reason for their objection. So this is really good news. And Senator Rubio has worked really hard on this, really hard on this to get this to this point. So I'm proud to join him in this, but he really should get a lot of credit here. He has really worked hard. I don't want to speak for the president, but I will just say that I personally have talked to the president about this. I've talked to him about it on multiple occasions. I talked to him as soon as I got back from Hong Kong. I mean, like the day I got back from Hong Kong. So he and I have talked about it. I suspect others have talked with him about it, and I'm hopeful that he'll sign it.
And what are you expecting this bill, if it's passed, to?
I hope that very first and foremost it will send a strong signal to Beijing that their attempt to roll back the commitments that they made to Hong Kong, their attempt to oppress the people of Hong Kong, is not going unnoticed, and that the free world is going to stand up and object to this. I think it's important to point out that the Hong Kongers are just asking for the basic liberties that Beijing promised them in 1984 and again in 1997. It's not Hong Kongers who are asking for new things here. It's Beijing who's trying to do something new by taking away the basic liberties that Hong Kong was promised. And what concerns us as Americans is Beijing's intentions, not just towards Hong Kong, but the whole region, because we know that Beijing would like to do this to everybody within their reach, which is a lot of countries. And ultimately, of course, that's bad for the United States and the whole free world. So I hope it'll send a signal. I also hope it will encourage America's allies and other members of the free community of nations, like Britain, like Germany, to stand up and object to what Beijing is doing. I think some of the European countries have been far too quiet about this and willing to let Beijing just seek to, again, change its commitments, renege on its commitments, and violently oppress its own people.